This is Boomer Life on AM 650.
Welcome back to Boomer Life on AM 650. I'm your host, Simone Greywall. Today, we're focusing on getting energized. In studio with us, Greg Semkuley, who is the sales manager at Enerex Botanicals, and Carol Kareena, who is a nutritionist and health journalist. We've been talking about a product called Greens that can help us with renewing our levels of energy. So does this product contain any GMOs?
Well, that's a good question. GMOs have been talked about quite a bit in the press lately. GMOs being genetically modified organisms, or more correctly, genetically engineered organisms. But the product is organic. When you look at the ingredients, it's raw organic alfalfa, raw organic barley, and all the ingredients are organic in there. So by definition, if something is organic, it is going to be a non-GMO product. So we have looked at that and make sure at least the different ingredients are that. It's becoming more popular. To become non-GMO, whether you agree or disagree, it's not a topic here, but it's just a matter of saying that these products are organic in that regard, that we don't have the GMO ingredients in it.
Now, sorry, Carol.
I just wanted to say that organic is what he's mentioned, but so as well as GMOs, the no herbicides or pesticides is really important with something like a greens product, because it's dehydrated so much that they say that something like a dried fruit, for example, a raisin, has 5 to 10 times the amount of pesticide and herbicides that a grape would. And that's because you're eating 5 to 10 times more of it. If you think about it, you can't really eat 30 grapes quickly, but think about a handful of raisins.
Yes, exactly.
And so you're getting 10 times the amount. And you actually mentioned kale chips earlier when we were talking, and that's a huge, big fad right now. And you can down one of those bags of kale chips because they're so tasty. You can down one in 10 minutes. But when you think about it, there's actually probably 2 bunches of kale in one bag. So does that kale have herbicide and pesticides on it? And how much are you getting when you're actually having that one little bag?
Exactly. That's something definitely to keep in mind. So, a part of feeling energized and feeling great is being at a healthy weight. Now, if you're trying to lose weight, some people often tend to drink some kind of smoothies and shakes because there still are lesser calories than you would find in a typical meal. What about substituting with something like greens? How many calories are in using this in a product, in a smoothie?
Well, the greens is a great adjunct to add into that. I think if someone is on a weight loss program or plan and they're working with someone or doing it on their own, typically they're reducing the amount of food that they're taking in, which reduces the calories, which of course is giving them the energy. So a greens drink like this is really a great add-in into their program because there's not a lot of calories to it. It's really a small amount. You might get maybe, 70, 80 calories out of a serving on a day, which over a day really is not a huge amount out of that. But again, it provides them for that sustained energy that they need. Carol was talking earlier in terms of blood sugar levels as well too, so help them balance that out so you don't get into the cravings, and you get into cravings and the hunger pangs, and then your mind starts kind of looking at everything that you'd love to have. So having energy, I think, is really important. So it's a great add-in to any program that people are using in order to lose weight that they're looking to do.
And it's also got all the nutrients that you need that you often don't get when you're in a low-calorie type of a program for weight loss. And many women, they have a low thyroid problem, and we mentioned that before. Low thyroid hormone called thyroxine, when you've got hypoglycemia or hypothyroidism, that tends to decrease your energy and your metabolism slows down. So that's why you tend to gain weight when you've got hypothyroidism. But when you take a nutrient-dense food that's got iodine really nurtures the thyroid gland, and it increases your metabolism. So actually, when you're taking the greens, you're not only reducing calories and getting the nutrients, but you're actually getting nutrients that you don't get from a lot of other foods that you would normally be taking on a weight loss program.
Enerex.ca is the website if you want to get more information on greens. Now, Greg, is there anyone that shouldn't be taking a product like this?
Well, the product is suitable pretty much for most ages, other than probably young infants, obviously, or maybe kids 3 and under, as maybe they're starting to develop their diets and that type of thing. So, but really, there isn't any group that would be adverse to it. Some may, be concerned in terms of if you're pregnant or nursing. As always, check with your healthcare professional and see if there's any issues with it. But any of the nutrients in the plant-based products in here um, aren't of high levels enough or concentrations enough to be any significant consideration for that. But really, seniors, absolutely perfect for them in terms of their digestive systems as they slow down, or weight loss programs as well too, to give them a little bit of energy with that. Students as well too, when they're looking to get their brains always engaged and get that energy, or if they do have to be on 6 hours or 3 hours a night of sleep, then have something like that that gives them the brain function and still doesn't get that crash afterwards. So it's great for them.
Well, that's just it. I mean, sometimes you don't have all those vegetables available to you. You haven't made the run to the grocery store, or it's hard to almost stock the amount of vegetables you can at home. You might have the 3 or 4 things that you usually bring in, but it's a good alternative to kind of get more than what your body is used to.
Absolutely, and it's convenient. So if it's in a powder form, it's easy to just add it to a glass of water, mix it in a shaker cup or just in a glass, and sip on it as you're needing it. So convenience is a big factor. If you had all those fruits and vegetables, you either have to eat them as you're munching away on some carrots or whatever other foods, or juice them. But again, that's a little bit more of an effort. So convenience for this is quite paramount.
And where can we find this product?
The products are available in a number of different local health food stores in the Vancouver area, or over on Vancouver Island as well too. So here locally we have Choices Market. You can get Genesis Nutrition, pardon. Well-Beings out in Langley carries the products. Nature's Fair, independent pharmacies you'll find in our local area as well too. On the island, there's Lifestyles, Vitamin Shop as well too, and an Nanaimo Health Shop. So maybe your locals there will be quite happy to get you introduced into the product.
Now, what are some other benefits of this greens product? We've kind of talked a little bit about other ways it can help your body and things like that, but are there any other things that we haven't talked about yet or that you've heard of?
Well, the main actions we've talked about today are certainly energy. Alkalinity is a big one, that as well too. So possibly, as we just mentioned earlier, in terms of weight loss, adjunct into that as well too, so you can use that. But really, if you're taking a protein shake and people on the meals on the go and just want to kind of cover off all the bases, it's great to add into your protein shakes or your yogurts and your smoothies, and good for the day. So it's kind of like a multivitamin in a different format.
Okay,
So
it's an
kind of
easy way to
covers you
put
off
it,
that way.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, sorry, Carol, did you have something that you wanted to mention or no? Just look, okay.
I was just looking at that. Great answer, Greg.
So again, enerex.ca, you can get more information there. And really about energy, it does come down to all the different factors we've talked about. Having that active lifestyle, watching your diet, and using a product like this that can really just aid in being healthy overall.
Absolutely. I mean, this is something that, for most people, it's easy for them to take. It's easy to fit into their lifestyles at any age, really, and just provide you with a lot of the nutrients. Getting the get up and the go and the conveniences, and you look at the fast foods that we're all doing, the drive-throughs and the drive-ins that, we're seeing more and more of. And this is something like this that just kind of covers off a lot of the bases, kind of gives a little bit more of an insurance policy for our health. So whether or not we are looking for the energy or to help with providing some other nutrients in there and making sure our alkalinity is good in our bodies, so that long-term down the road we kind of minimize any chances or risks that we have for disease kind of creeping up. And it's a great thing to just add into our daily life.
Something we haven't mentioned is how long has this product been around for? How many years on the market?
It's been around for several years. I couldn't think of when it actually has been, but greens have been around, I've been around for 3 decades. So alfalfa, for example, as a supplement, has been around for ages. Barley grass or wheatgrass, I think was a little bit more of a
70s,
yeah,
didn't it?
yeah, late 70s there too. So you still see people who would grow their wheatgrass and cut it and put it through the juicer, and people would have little shots of the wheatgrass. So gosh, I think it's been around for quite a while. But I think in this format, probably a little bit more recent, maybe in the last decade and a bit or so. So.
And if you're just joining us, to recap, what are the key ingredients in the greens? You mentioned a few there.
The greens is really a combination of a number of different grasses. Alfalfa grass, barley grass, oat grass, millet, and kamut. And again, it has some other ingredients in there, the fibers, the rice bran fibers, the apple pectin fibers. It has some of the kelp in there as well, too. And one of the other ingredients we haven't touched up on is spirulina, which is another very, very good nutrient-dense product, very high in proteins, very easily digestible proteins, and a great energizer as well, too. Also chlorophyll-rich, so that's providing a lot of the extra oxygen that helps with our energizing as well.
It's, and again, Carol, you mentioned this earlier, it really also is about getting those greens, but looking for that rainbow of vegetables when you're in the grocery store, just to making sure you're covering your bases when it comes to eating healthy and feeling energized.
That's right. And I say try to get 5 to 10 servings of vegetables a day. And when you go to the grocery store, just try to be a little bit more adventuresome. So grab the different colors that you're not used to eating. Just to get the different nutrients, like I said, the green and the kale and the orange and the carrots and the purple and the beets and the eggplant. If you can grab them and just go online and get a new recipe to try them out, just so you can get all the different nutrients that you need, as well as taking obviously the greens drink to get the extra nutrients there. And also, as I was mentioning, with balancing the meals, remember the carb and the protein together as partners at every single meal and every single snack, whether it's a smoothie with the greens or with a little rice cracker with some nut butter on it, or trail mix that's got the nuts in the protein and the raisins that's got for the carbs. Those are all great every 3 to 4 hours.
So those are some great tips. Be adventurous when out for your groceries. Try to limit your intake of caffeine and sugars and work towards that. Drink lots of water and make sure you're living a very active lifestyle. And when in doubt and when you need a little bit of help, greens is an excellent product to try out and sample. Thank you again, Greg Semkuley, the sales manager at Enerex Botanicals, and Carol Kareena for being in studio with us and helping us find ways to feel energized. Thank you for listening to Boomer Life on AM 650.